Good morning, gentlemen. I'm today going to talk on two very important topics, very briefly. The first is the problem in Manipur, and then the rail accident, where almost maybe 200 or more people have died. Both these problems are interlinked. And the sad problem is for India that even after 75 years of independence, we are not able to get rid of fiscalist tendencies among the people. This is because we have been treating them, everybody, with kid gloves. There is no central authority to enforce one India, which is the requirement. Historically, if you look at it, right from say around the 11th century, northern India and later southern India for 900 years was under the rule of the Muslims. Nobody can deny that. And then it was 200 years of British rule. You can't deny that. How did it happen that a country with such a rich heritage, and in those days the Indian population was about 250 million, and they were governed by people who, in numbers, were not more than 100,000. I mean, just think about it. It was because of some inherent weakness in the Indian state, in the Hindu religion. Or maybe the interpretation was wrong, whatever it may be, but the facts are facts. You can't deny it. And now, after 47 years, after 1947, India got freedom courtesy the British, who were so knocked out by the Germans that they went away. They said, we don't want to be in India. After the defeat with Germany, I use the word defeat, which is another term for a Pyrrhic victory. A victory which is Pyrrhic, which goes, eats into the vitals of the British. That's another point. We discussed that later. But now India has not been able to solve the problem for 75 years, and there's still some channels, some correspondents talking, win the hearts of the people, do this, do that. If you couldn't do it in 75 years, and that was because we have been following a wrong policy. And the second thing is, if you look at history, we've been slaves for 900 years. So that being the case, that mentality continues, and you continue like this, you end up in another form of economic slavery, or maybe anything, or India could break up also. And then, where is the concept of one India? Now, in Manipur, everybody knows the problem. You can read it that there are two tribes they're fighting. I'm not going to discuss the genesis of the problem. The problem is that there is the problem. That is the problem. That means there is no integration of Manipur with India. That is the problem which we have to see. And this goes for all the northeastern states which Indira Gandhi created, I think in 75 with the in the Shillong Accord. Now, this is a moot point whether these states were required, first of all, because the British were governing the whole of Assam through one composite state. So, why couldn't the same thing have continued? Why create small states and create a breakup in ethnicity, in language, and everything? I mean, it was not required. But once it's been done, the question is they should have been integrated with the country, which has not been done. And it should never be done. Recently, one gentleman wrote to me, he said, we should win the hearts of these people. Well, if you couldn't win them, you'll never be able to win them. I can tell you, I've served in these regions for many years, the entire region, and I can say that the tribes are wonderful people. They are very peaceful, basically, and they are looking for integration, economic progress, but then they have some faults in the society in the sense that they are not hardworking. That part has to be accepted. So now we come to a solution. What is going to be happening next? How do we integrate these states into India? We have to take a leaf out of what Pakistan has done, or East Pakistan did, and what China did. You have to take some leaf out of it. You cannot have an oasis in an Indian republic which is semi independent. It's not possible, it cannot be allowed. So, the first thing is to do away with all forms of laws and regulations that hinder the progress of this country in the sense that debar the people from other parts of India to come there. Until there is opening up of these hill states and these tribal states, I do not see how it is possible for India to be integrated as one unit. So the question is, basically doing away with all laws that give any separate status to these states. There is nothing like a separate status. I agree, we must respect their culture, give them all the facilities which are required to propagate their culture, to study their culture, but the cardinal principle should be India is one country and we will allow anybody to go anywhere, settle anywhere, do anything like it is in America, it's in England, and why should it not be in India? So this, I will close this discussion here. Until and unless India does this, the Indian leadership does this, I do not visualize the integration of any of the hill states with India. The Northeast will continue to simmer, and maybe I'll die and go away, and you will also live for 75 years and go away, or 80 years, and this problem will continue. There will be insurrections, people get killed, and then all this nonsense will start. So, gentlemen, clue is integration of the states with India, and integration by taking a leaf of the way China has done and what Pakistan did in the Chakma Hill tribes and made them into important fighters. They stopped fighting after that. Well, then I come down to the second important thing is that train accident. Why this accident took place? I'm not certain. I do not know, to tell you frankly. I've only got a hunch that such a major accident couldn't have taken place just because of human error. That means there could have been a possibility, I'm not saying it, but the CBI is investigating that somebody sabotaged it. Now, if there are saboteurs moving around, we are theoretically talking all over the country, sabotaging the Indian infrastructure, that means there's something radically wrong with the Indian state that such people are allowed to exist. That's why I said the problem is similar to that of what has happened in Manipur. That means we are allowing such people to continue. We have so many organizations in India, whether they are Hindu or whether they are Muslim, it's not the point. But any organization which is parochial, which doesn't believe in India as one nation, one people, needs to be banned. And if the Bajrang Dal is to be banned, ban it. And ban all the Muslim organizations also. We're talking of separatism. Bring uniform laws for everybody in the country. There's no personal law that somebody can have 4 wives or he can divorce. All that has to be done away with. So, gentlemen, there are two issues which I've raised, and I hope you will agree with me. If you are a nationalist, you cannot say that I'm wrong. We have to integrate the countries, and it cannot be by kid gloves. We'll continue for the next 200 years till India maybe breaks up. You don't know. You never know. And so many people, I wonder if you have read the report of the Chinese Institute of Strategic Studies. They even painted a very rosy picture of India. There's no need to just condemn the Chinese, don't know anything and all that. That's not the way to look at it. Study what they say. They've said India is likely to break up. And this report came a few years back because of the inherent contradictions of the Hindu religion. I wonder if people like to look into it further. Gentlemen, nothing more to add. I'll say goodbye and God bless. Do subscribe to my channel and come back again and again to see what I'm saying. Because I'm seeing something different. And I will close now and say, Jai Hind, glory to India. Take care. God bless.